Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Digimon Ghost Game Episode 26 and Episode 27. Um, Episode 26 was a lot of fun. Um, Maybe fun's not exactly the right word, but it was a good episode. Episode 26 was really good. So Episode 26 is about uh, Angoramon, I forgot his name for a second, bumping into his old friend Digitamamon. And Digitamamon is staying in this abandoned mansion, and basically Digitamamon's interested in Angoramon and what he's been doing, and invites Angoramon and basically the rest of the main cast to come visit. Cool. Except that we already know that Digitamamon is eating humans. So this whole episode, it opened with Digitamamon consuming people. And the whole episode, we're just sort of waiting for that, and it's built up really well, where Rory is obviously excited to meet one of Angoramon's friends from the digital world. So basically, he asks her to come visit with him, and she's all over it. Angoramon's happy that she's interested in sort of his friends, and Rory's just sort of excited to learn more about Angoramon and his friends. So they end up getting there first, and Digitamamon knows what Angoramon likes, and basically leads him to this library of all these books, and then sort of pulls Rory away, and is trying to eat her. And it's really well done. This is probably one of the Ghost Game does a pretty good job of doing making episodes feel like little tiny horror movies. And while I don't always feel like the Digimon they choose and sort of what they do necessarily fit that perfectly every time, this was a really good one. And Digitamamon is kind of his attacks are creepy. When the whole shadow with the big arms comes out, it's cool. So eventually, Digitamamon tries to eat Rory, and Goromon steps in. Everybody else shows up, and we get a fight. And Digitamamon is, what is he? He's an ultimate, so I always forget Angoramon's evolution. Simba Angoramon from The Lion King can't do any damage because Digitamamon is an ultimate, and his egg shell is super hard. You can't penetrate it. We get a cool triple attack, right? We've done that a few times throughout this show, where the three main Digimon try and attack at the same time to varying degrees of success. And then we get Gamamon evolving into Canon Weissmon, which we get to see a different Gamamon evolve into Canon Weissmon. So in the last episode, when he evolved, it was Betel Gamamon that evolved into Canon Weissmon. And in this episode, it's Wezen Gamamon. Wezen Gamamon? I believe. The green one. I'm just terrible with Digimon names today, apparently. We get to see Wezen Gamamon evolve into Canon Weissmon. So that's cool. Each one of them can obviously evolve into it. That's nice. I'm sort of mixed on him just having 3 champions for some reason, but no split evolutions after that, as far as I know. Because that was cool. I liked that idea of the main character's Digimon having different Digimon to digivolve into. And I don't know how they'll handle it going forward, whether Gamamon will be because in Digimon shows, once you unlock Ultimate, champions sort of become useless. I'm hoping that's not really the case here, and we can still find uses for the champions, because if so, the interesting evolution split that we had going on for the last 20-something episodes is just gone, and it's just always going to end with Gamamon becoming Canon Weissmon to save the day. So, Canon Weissmon, he's an ultimate, just like Digitamamon, and is able to crack Digitamamon's shell. And then we get one final moment where Simbar and Goramon steps in between Digitamamon and everybody else and tries to reason with them. And we just see that, Digitamamon's gone. He explains sort of how once he came to the digital world, everything was cool, but as soon as he, was able to materialize, he was just like super super hungry, and like the only way to really satisfy that was when he ate people. And we got this interesting moment, which I don't know how interesting it really is, but like Angoromon's like, you can't just eat people. That's wrong. And Digitamon's like, why? People eat animals to survive. Like, how is this different? And he's right. It's not really different. He's just trying to eat to survive, and we just got uh, people that are about to be eaten trying to survive as well, right? It's just nature. And so I feel a bit bad for Digitamamon, right? He's sort of got this uncontrollable hunger, and he just needs to eat. And by the end of the episode, we see that like he's gone. Like there's no reasoning with him. He is just so hungry that we can't get through. And so Angoramon attacks a crack in Digitamamon's shell that Canon Weissman left there and kills him. Kills his friend. It was good. I like this episode a lot. I like Angoramon a lot more in this episode than I usually do. He's just sort of there usually. But sort of like the dilemma of, okay, my friend is now a bad guy, what do I do? And the way it was handled, he tried to reason with him, but like as soon as he saw that it was over, like he couldn't get through to him, he just ended it. And I think that's both good for obviously the people he would hurt, but it's also good for Digitamamon. Just end that. We already know that Digimon don't die in this universe; they reincarnate, they get turned into an egg. So even if like all his memories and things are going to be gone, it's probably for the best to just end it and let him start again. So I really like that. Angoramon really stood out this episode more than he has before, and it was a really good episode. Episode 27, also pretty good. Not one of my favorites. So our main villain this time is Splashmon, and they really play into the urban legend part of the series, which is really cool. I like how they do that, where like the urban legend is like, oh, if you hear 3 drops of water, you're gonna get consumed or something. I forget exactly what it was. But the way they sort of played that in the episode, where you like hear the water drip, hear it again, and then Splashmon comes out, turns a character into water. We get a brand new character who we've never heard of, but has apparently existed this whole time, introduced in this episode, and that is the lady that cooks lunches at the dorm that Hiro and Kyoshiro live in. Never been brought up before, but sure, I guess they need someone to do that, so I guess it makes sense, but sometimes in shows like that, it's like, when a character that we're supposed, like, everybody knows and has known for a long time just sort of suddenly appears in the show, it can kind of feel a bit strange. But I guess here they wouldn't talk about the lunch lady or whatever that often, so it's fine. Splashmon, what is he trying to do? I don't, like, he's trying to make himself more beautiful, kind of, by using the water he turns people into. And sort of like the fear that they have makes it more potent, I think. Something like that. Splashmon's sort of plan is a bit, it's not great. But like him just turning people into water, it looks cool. Him himself being water and just sort of like going through pipes and things is neat. And like he was tough. He took out a couple of the Digimon. Like he turned Gamamon into water, and then Gamamon's just out of the fight. And we had to sort of think fast about how we're going to defeat him. And the way he was defeated, I thought was really cool, and it showed something that hasn't really happened too much in the show, where the characters are actually using the fields they have pretty smartly. I think the Weedmon episode was like this, where they went to like the desert or something, so there wasn't any water for them to absorb and then spawn more, right? So to defeat Splashmon, with our final battle taking place on a boat on the ocean, which is basically like a perfect place for him. Like it was smart of him to attack them there. Like Splashmon isn't my like the best villain of this show, but he was smart. Like bring them all to this boat where I'm just surrounded by water and they don't stand a chance. Cool. They use the ice field. It freezes the ocean, it freezes the pipes, and he's just sort of stuck. But what are they going to do? He can still fight them. They use Angoramon's wind attack to just sort of freeze him. cool. It was smart. It was like it was good. Like they really used their heads in this one. Like they were getting beaten, and then everybody that was turned into water just becomes normal again. That's one thing that I don't like about this show, and it's not like a big complaint or anything, but like they're really sort of all over the place with when people get killed and when people are just fine. Like, as soon as one of our characters gets turned into water, it's like, okay, that's all going to be undone at the end of the episode. Um, but, like, they're sort of all over the place, and it's just for, like, if they want to have Gamamon get turned into water, it's like, okay, well, then the people can't be dead. But for the Digitamamon episode, where it's like, okay, none of our characters are actually going to get hit by his attacks, so we can kill some people. That's just, like, a really small complaint I have with the show, where whether people die or not is very much dependent on whether the episode is going to have one of our characters affected by their ability. But Splash 1 episode, pretty good. The characters showed some smart thinking. They used something other than just attacks to win a fight. And it was cool. A good episode. Like, I don't think there's been a bad episode of this show in a while. But yeah, 26 and 27. 26 was definitely the standout here. It was just really good. Made a character that I find a bit boring really shine. And then episode 27 was just pretty good. But yeah, 2 more episodes of Digimon Ghost Game. This show continues to be really good, and I'm really enjoying the episodic aspect of it. Like, I know people have been complaining about that, especially now that we're a year into the show. And maybe once I get caught up to the episodes that they're on, I'll sort of feel the same way. But boy, I needed an episodic show, and like this one has been delivering very well. So yeah, Digimon Ghost Game. It's good. 2 solid episodes, 1 really great, 1 pretty good. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.